And we're live. Welcome to Team Tank episode number 10. We are here after one of the craziest NBA trade deadlines in a long time that I can think of. It was funny. This thought crossed my mind as I was walking to the laptop. I was thinking to myself, it's been, nothing that substantial, and then, bang! Last 20 minutes of it were just the NBA got drunk and clothes were flying. That was nuts.
Like, I don't think GMs knew what teams their players were on anymore. Like, it was like it was like God just turned on trade override and just started sending everybody everywhere.
Well, my favorite part of the entire day was Woj just tweeting out, "Good Lord."
Yeah,
that was great.
Like he had it by that point. He was like his phone was about to die. Like,
yeah,
he got like 4 wash bombs in like a 10-minute stretch, I think.
No, I mean, because I don't know, I first of all, it has to be like 3 Wojs at this point, right? Like
he uses multiple phones.
Like he hires some ghost reporters or something.
Ooh, that might go on my Twitter profile.
He has minions.
Yeah, Ghost Wojnarowski, ghost reporter.
Like I don't know how you can do. I don't know how. Like I just like one day I want to be as good at something as he is at his job. Like
someone wrote an article about him that there's a lot of people who kind of don't like him that have run into him.
Yeah, I remember that. That was earlier this year.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of people he's rubbed the wrong way because of the way that he does stuff.
Well, I mean, you do notice, like, with teams that don't give him very many scoops, like, he will murder teams for not giving him scoops.
The Clippers are one of those.
Yeah, the Lakers. I remember
LeBron was a target for a while.
Yeah, that was another one. I was just going to bring up the entire Cleveland situation. Like, he would just take shots whenever he could. To be honest, though, like, his writing style is whatever. I'm just in utter disbelief at the way he can break stories. But, like, when he writes hit pieces, he kind of loses me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't really go to him for the writing as much as I go for, like, the scoops.
Information. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if like those allow him to get it, then I guess that's what he's got to do. But
hey, man, he made it. So
yeah.
Yeah. Right now, he's just sitting there during this entire conversation, going #hi haters. So all right, so we'll just kind of get right into it. Awkward segue. We're going to say who the winners and losers were of today's trade deadline. We'll go ahead and start. Matt, who would you say was your winner? And then we'll get losers again after we go through our winners.
Okay. Well, first off, I gotta give a shout out to the Bucks. As a Syracuse fan, they got Michael Carter Williams and Tyler Ennis, but it's a terrible trip. They had a terrible day in general. My actual winner is OKC. I liked how they traded Reggie, and they got back DJ Augustine and Cantor. I thought, Augustine is a solid fill-in for losing Reggie, and then Cantor, he's not the best rim protector, but I think that it's still, I'll take him over Kendrick Perkins. It's just like it'd be a cool experiment to see. As for my loser, though, I thought Philly. I didn't really understand what they were trying to do. They traded away KJ McDaniels. They did get the Lakers pick that hopefully they'll have next year, not this year. But yeah, my loser would be Philly.
Who do you got, Justin? On we'll go both sides then.
Oddly enough, I do have Philadelphia as a winner. I think they kind of did sell high on Michael Carter Williams. I think even if they don't get the Lakers pick this year, I think in the future it will benefit them. I also think they kind of sold a little bit high on KJ McDaniels just because of his contract situation, because he is a restricted free agent at the end of the year, and I feel like they kind of took themselves out of the pressure of matching an offer that he gets. So it's almost like, yeah, we'll get him for Isaiah Cannon, whatever. We'll see how Isaiah Cannon works out. He's still cheap. They get second-round picks, which to them are just they're just basically they're purses to them. They're purses. Like it's like if a woman sees a purse and she wants it, they're just purses to Philadelphia. It's just something they gotta have, you know. And that might come off as sexist now that I actually said it out loud. Holy crap.
It's cool. I'm racist, so don't worry about it.
No, but I did like what Philly did. I don't like what Milwaukee did, and I don't like what Detroit did. And also, Oklahoma City was a winner as well. I do think that while Enes Kanter isn't a great rim protector at all, he's one of the worst. He's basically a rim protector like Blake Griffin is. It's just not happening. So, but I do think that he can work with Ibaka. I do think that because Ibaka can space the floor, even if he's replacing Steven Adams, Kanter that is, I do think they can work together. But I'm actually really intrigued to see how Kanter works on the second unit, because the second unit has problems scoring inside more than the first unit does, so they can kick it down to Kanter for post moves and etc. And you know, also the Augustine thing, they got him for pretty cheap, and he does fit what they want to do as a spot-up shooter. For losers, Milwaukee and Detroit, I have no idea what Milwaukee's doing. You can't be 6th in the East, and you can't be 3 games in the loss column out of 3rd, and then trade your point guard who's actually giving you points. I don't know, points are, you know, it's easy to say points, but he's also efficient, a lot more efficient than Michael Carter-Williams is.
But you didn't hear Magic? He said that Michael Carter-Williams is the next Jason Kidd.
Oh, I forgot about that. Magic's talent evaluation skills go as far as Isaiah Thomas, and that's never good. So I don't understand the Carter-Williams fit because he can't shoot. He can't space the floor. This almost seems like a short-sighted or a very long-sighted move from Milwaukee is basically just get young, long guys who can play defense and switch on everything, and we'll just figure out offense later. And Detroit, I do not understand why you trade DJ Augustine for Reggie Jackson who cannot shoot. Makes no sense. Their offense was predicated on spacing, which Kyle Singler also gave them, and they traded him. I didn't like anything Detroit did. I think Stan outthought himself.
Well, and the other thing too is you're trading for a Reggie Jackson who can't shoot and will probably make 10 times what Augustine is going to make over the next 5 years.
DJ Augustine's getting $3 million next year. Reggie Jackson's at least going to get $10 million more than that probably, just because NBA.
Right. Right. All right, Harrison. Who do you have, winners and losers?
I'm going to go a little unconventional just because they already talked about OKC and we covered the Bucks and everything. One of my winners is actually Phoenix. If you're factoring in context, if they had less than 2 days that they knew for sure Dragic was leaving, it was pretty clear, and to turn that around and get 2 first-round picks for him, and get Brandon Knight, that's not too bad. They got rid of Isaiah Thomas, who is apparently the least likable teammate in NBA history, or is at least up there, driving everybody crazy in every locker room. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but it just seems like there's something there a little bit. And to turn around and get what they did for those guys, I think considering the circumstances, that's pretty good. Even though they did give up the Lakers pick, which could be, if that ends up being the 6th pick in the draft, then I think Philadelphia's day looks a lot better. But, which is would be really depressing, obviously. But
yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Harrison. I really appreciate it.
I mean, just from a neutral perspective, that's I don't hate that move for Philly. I agree with Justin that they sold high on Michael Carter-Williams while he was he put up some big counting stats last year, and even though he regressed some, he still had some impressive averages, and I think they did sell high on him.
And then
loser. Maybe Detroit. I don't know. I think that Reggie Jackson can come back a little bit now that he's out of OKC. He just seemed to really hate it there. I don't know that they're my loser. I'm trying to think of whose move I just really didn't like. I mean, the Jazz, I guess they got something for Kanter, but weren't they aren't they conditional picks? I think they were like really protected, or I don't know. I don't know that I love that they just got Perkins expiring and maybe like conditional picks for Kanter.
Well, I believe, I mean, the protection gets thinner as the years go along, but yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to get a lottery pick for Enes Kanter.
One of the things I like that Phoenix did, and I actually do agree with you. I think Phoenix was a slight winner today, but the one trade I actually liked for them more than the Brandon Knight trade in a weird way was Marcus Thornton.
Really?
Because I feel like he fits their small ball, spread it out style to where he can play the 3 when they start running and gunning on teams like in the second half of games. I mean, he can shoot, and I think that's where his value really is contextually. And I think if they start running and gunning with Knight and Bledsoe, I do think having him on the wing will at least space it more than having P.J. Tucker.
Well, I think too. I mean, to if I can add my 2 cents to the Phoenix, they had so little leverage. It looked like going into today. I mean, it looked like they were going to have to trade away Dragic for pennies on the dollar, but they somehow managed to turn Dragic and Thomas into Brandon Knight and Marcus Thornton, who could wind up being a good fit there. Plus a first rounder from they got 2 first rounders, didn't they?
2. They got 2 from Miami.
Yeah, they got 2 first rounders from Miami and another first rounder from Boston, right?
Yeah, I don't know that it's Boston's first rounder though.
Right. No, I don't think it's theirs this year, or if it is, it's not theirs from this year. But
yeah.
So they walked away from today looking like they didn't have any leverage, and now they have 3 first rounders to build around or to continue to build with, and decent players to play with right now. I totally agree that they should be considered winners on the day. I guess my if I had to name a winner, it came early in the day, but I like what Portland did, adding Afflalo. I think some will say that they kind of gave up kind of a bundle for him, but if you look at the way their roster is built, and you have LaMarcus Aldridge, who is an unrestricted free agent this year,
and Wesley Matthews
and Wesley Matthews, like they have to be in win now mode, right? And
yeah.
Now they've upgraded their bench and added depth. And if they need to add a big, like Perkins will be bought out. I'd imagine. I hope, please, Boozer will be bought out. And I could see pieces kind of falling together for Portland to make a really nice run at it this year. Losers, I'm kind of going out. This is a Laker podcast, and I have to mention.
Oh no.
I have to. I hate like what are they doing? Like what are they doing? Like now they're put in a position where they now have to choose between Ed Davis or Jordan Hill this offseason, right? I mean, if they let both of them walk, now they had assets that they at least with Ed Davis they could have just given up for literally a second rounder. Like Justin, would you have been okay sending a second rounder from your Clippers for Ed Davis?
If my team had the space, yeah, because they're hard capped. So.
But the problem with that is that Ed Davis isn't Doc Rivers' kid, so he's not going to send out assets to pick him up.
Hey. I do actually like what Austin Rivers has done this year. As odd as that sounds, that's not a sentence I thought I would ever utter this year, but I have.
But like my thing is like you look at like the major way to build in this league right now is stockpile assets. That way you can, if need be, overpay. Right? Like one could argue that giving up a first rounder for Isaiah Thomas is technically overpaying by Boston, but because they've compiled so many assets, they can actually make that move and bring him in, right? And with the Lakers being in the standpoint that they are, where they need every little asset they could possibly find for themselves. Like you have to make a move where you get, you can continue to rebuild and combine assets and now turn them into bigger ones, and not turning Jordan Hill, who granted his contract isn't easy to trade. I get that, and thank you for those of you in my mentions who were saying, explaining to me how trades work. I had no idea before,
like both teams have to agree, Anthony. Fun fact about trades.
I had no idea. I play with auto trade on 2K15, so all the other teams can go F themselves. Like I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off this soapbox, but at the end of the day, you have to find a way to turn net zeros, a la Jordan Hill, a la Ed Davis, a la even Wayne Ellington, who I think you could have gotten a second rounder for. You have to be able to turn that into something you can now use in the rebuild. And now when those guys walk, we're going to sit here and say, wow, how did they not get anything for him?
I don't know how. The only one that I have no idea how they didn't get anything for was Wayne Ellington getting not getting a second rounder or something from somebody that needs shooting.
If and when they buy him out, I'm telling you right now, Oreo has to run for cover. I might throw her. It's maddening how they managed to do nothing.
And just to add, he's not here, but if fellow tanker Ryan Calipire was here, he would say OKC's a winner, but not forgetting Enes Kanter and TJ Augustine, but forgetting Steve Novak.
Did he send us a note? If he sent us a note to make sure we said something like that,
I know he's going to do it. So
but they're waiving Novak.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh man. But all right, so yeah, like I said, I'll jump off my soapbox, but
was today's trade deadline the I'm coming home trade deadline? Because Garnett went back to Minnesota and Prince went back to Detroit.
No.
Which was random.
I don't. I give.
And then the Minnesota wants to sign him to a 2-year extension.
As odd as it sounds, I don't think that's the worst thing.
No, it's not the worst thing. It's just I don't know. It's a little weird.
I like him as a mentor. I like him as a mentor for the young.
No, I like it. I like it from a narrative perspective. I'm just not sure if they shouldn't be looking at younger guys maybe.
To quote the I guess great Jalen Rose. He's not great. I take that back. He's not.
No.
But
if you get 81 points scored on you, you don't get to be the great anything anymore.
I met him in person outside Staples.
Keep getting them checks, KG. Thing, bro. It was funny. It was KG might consider a buyout. I don't know. He's not going to. He's making $20 million. Why would he do that?
I tweeted Jalen Rose 2 math questions that answered 81. The answer was 81, and he blocked me immediately.
One of my favorite things ever was when he tried to troll this guy on Twitter because he basically said, you're trying to talk crap to me and you have 100 followers. And basically the guy had 1,000 followers. And so I had to tweet to Jalen Rose, I can see why Duke passed on you.
No, I saw that, and I was saying afterwards, it's dude, do you think that people are following you because you're just so interesting and funny? If you were not a former player, you would not have this many followers. I don't know how you're going to disparage somebody for having, so few followers.
I don't understand how you make a Twitter account and just block people who tweet you.
Yeah.
That seems like the opposite of what Twitter's for.
Hey, Peter Vesey disagrees.
Oh, God.
I told him Kobe could pass more, and he blocked me for that. So, all those guys. All right, so we'll kind of get in another awkward segue. I got to get better at this as a host, or not. I'll just keep on doing them awkward. We played a game that some of you liked a lot. This last podcast. It's our one-word reactions to certain things that are going on. I'll go ahead and host it this time for Gary Nation. Sorry, Gary's mom, he couldn't make it. So our first question, I'll go in order from my left to right. Harrison, are you ready to handle the first one?
Yeah, I'm ready as I'm going to be.
All right. So the first one here is the trade deadline today was blank.
One word. I don't have. I think that's the one where the trade deadline was blank. It was you could insert anything pretty much to describe what went down today. The best analogy I saw was from Sam Amick from USA Today. He tweeted at Zach Lowe because I guess Lowe just had his first kid. And he tweeted that covering the trade deadline today was like having to birth 11 babies in 5 minutes and try to hold them all in your arms. And the trade deadline today was blank. It was the NBA was drunk. I don't know what happened. That was the greatest and weirdest and craziest trade deadline ever.
Yeah, I would have to agree. All right, Justin, what do you got? The trade deadline today was blank.
Stimulating.
Okay.
Because you could not turn away from anything while the news was rolling in. I just feel like
that was crazy.
I think it was set a record for most players traded on a deadline day. It was close to 40. I think it was like 39.
It was like 9% of the league. I read somewhere.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
And that didn't even count picks. Like if you counted picks that will turn into players, it was like 50.
And all the players in Europe that'll be named later, right, and all that stuff.
Oh man, NBA Game Time sent me an update that I swear to God they made up names.
yeah. No, does Choo Choo count as one of that 9%?
I thought at one point they just started naming Simpsons characters, to be honest. All right, Matt, what do you got? The trade deadline today was what?
I thought it was well-rounded. We had like the smaller stories like Prince going back to Detroit, KG going to Minnesota, and then we just got like blitzed with trades at like 10, 15, 20 minutes before the deadline, which was just entertaining because you never knew when it was going to be over. So I thought it was well-rounded.
All right. I got. I'll give my own. I would say the trade deadline today was Adrian Wojnarowski.
Oh.
Yeah.
You spent an embarrassing amount of time today thinking of that, didn't you?
You guys are just embarrassed you didn't come up with that yourself. So. No, I mean, like we talk about, how Woj might go about his business or whatever, but I can't think of anybody else who is as good right now at their job as he is at what he does.
He's in his prime.
He's incredible. I mean, what he did, like the poor other guys that are in that business, all of ESPN, David Aldridge, everybody, like they're watching his timeline just the way we are.
Yeah, Aldridge got, I think, one before him, and he must have been
Mark Stein had a couple. Mark Stein had a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that we're saying that with everything Stein has at his reach, working for ESPN, we're impressed that he got a couple. That's nuts. All right, so we're going to reverse the order this time. Matt, are you ready for this next one?
Yep.
All right. If the Lakers are ranked 4th for the lottery, I'll be blank.
Okay, so a lot of people said that they'll be nervous, but I'll go with I'd be in a good mood day.
Oh.
I'm going back to the pun. That was my first one. I'm totally cool with 4. If you told me right now we'll have the 4th worst record, I'll take it.
Well, I mean,
I'll take my chances with I think it's like 80-something% chance of keeping it. So I'd be in a good mood.
All right, we can go with that. I'm cool with the puns. Go ahead, Justin. What do you got?
All right, so this is before the actual lottery process, right?
Right, yeah. So
Yeah.
like getting into the lottery, like
All right.
you have a bunch of Laker fans sweating at that point.
Intrigued.
Okay.
Because even as not a non-Laker fan, that is pretty intriguing because that is basically the future of a franchise right there. And
It really is.
and over the last decade, I mean, the last team to win out of the number 1 spot was Orlando when they got Dwight. So we're talking 2004. And over the last decade, if you're picking 8th or 9th going into the lottery, you got the first pick more than the top 3 teams combined, which is insane. I think it's like 4-2 or 4-3 or something. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it's nice that everybody has a chance this year since the Cavs are probably going to make the playoffs. So
They'll find a way to get the pick. And I'm still holding out hope though of Atlanta getting the best record in the East and still getting the first pick because of Brooklyn. I'm still holding out hope for that. I just think it'd be great.
I mean, that's what Brooklyn deserves. I can't lie.
That is what Brooklyn deserves. They deserve it for so many things.
But we don't. But as Laker fans, like we don't deserve that. Like that's just cruel.
They willingly traded for Thad Young. Did they watch him this year? Did they watch him Thad Young this year at all? Oh my God.
All right, Harrison. What's your take?
I'll be leaving towns. I will not I will not want to watch the lottery. I mean, I think that it would make riveting television if podcasting if we all got as many people on here as possible and just live broadcasted our reactions during the lottery. But I mean, I'm not going to want to watch. I will watch it, but because I'm not going to be able to look away. But yeah, I mean, that would be really nerve-wracking.
As a team, as a fan of a team that used to be in there perennially, and I can't believe I can even say this now. My team no longer goes in the lottery every year. It is a nerve-wracking time to even just watch television, and I think that's part of the people's problem though is they don't get to see the process on TV, so they always assume there's some like tomfoolery going on. But all I got to say about that is I'm sorry. There's a was it accounting firm watching it? There's no way an accounting firm's going to be able to fix. So
yeah,
I mean they're not going to put their reputation on the line for some NBA team. They don't give a crap.
I don't know. The head of the CIA put his reputation on the line for Roger Goodell. So
I mean, it's true.
Dan Gilbert's going to try and get me fired for this, but joke's on him because I'm not getting paid. Maybe he's just the devil, and he just can manipulate the lottery himself.
His kid is like the son of the devil who things just always go his way. It's like just right there.
He's little Nick.
By the way, I'm making a prediction. The Lakers will get the second pick.
I'd be all right with that. All right, so I guess. Harrison, you brought up that we should all do a live broadcast of our reactions during the lottery. But it'd be kind of tough, considering I'll be comatose if the Lakers get the fourth pick.
Yeah, it's
I couldn't take it. I mean, I know it's an 86% or whatever chance that they keep their pick and all that stuff, and they could move forward. I mean, it usually happens where that fourth spot tends to move up to in the top three, but. That's stress, man. I have a heart condition. I just can't deal with that.
You're getting old, man. We understand.
Yeah.
You'd be in a bad mood day then, huh?
I gotta say that's not like Italian food where it gets better the second time around. All right, so we'll go.
I'm Italian and I get that joke. That's the sad part. That joke works.
All right, so we're going. We're going to switch it up a little bit here. Like we said before on the podcast, Justin is a Clippers writer and fan.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna.
Is that how you have to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
So we're gonna go ahead. The Clippers. Deadline activity was blank, and we'll start with Justin here.
Expected.
Expected?
I expected it. I didn't expect much. I think there were some people that were delusional in the fan base that thought like we can move people for like the one rumor was like Jamal Crawford for Wilson Chandler. Like no, Denver's not doing that. Like they wanted a first-round pick. We don't have a first-round pick for like the next 10 years. So there's nothing we could have gave them. I mean, it is what it is. As weird as it sounds, Austin Rivers has been fine, so I'm not really worried about it. He re-injured his ankle, so he didn't play tonight. But I don't know. I just expected. I didn't think there was going to be much that we did. That's all. I mean, as weird as it sounds, I know I keep saying as weird as it sounds, but I'm okay with the team as it is. I don't think we're going to the finals. I'm not delusional about that. I think at best Western Conference Finals, but it all depends on matchups. So it is what it is.
All right, we'll go. Matt, you go ahead and give your judgment of the Clippers' lack of activity.
As a Laker fan, it's fantastic. They didn't get better. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I expected it too. I didn't think they were going to make any moves, and they're kind of stuck. I don't. Yeah, I could see them getting to the Western Conference Finals, but I'd say that they're probably a second-round exit again.
And that's the thing with the West, though. It's all matchups.
It really is. It really is. I mean, you match up the Clippers against Dallas. They could win that series, right?
Like right now, they'd be playing Houston. We're winning that series. I mean, I don't even feel like I don't even care that I sound confident as hell. Like we're winning that series. Houston's not beating us.
I don't know. They got KJ McDaniels, who is my man crush Thursday. So.
And Josh Smith, who probably hit about 6 threes in a game one night. So, and I'll just leave Twitter for life.
Knowing the Clippers' luck recently in the playoffs, I'd have to agree. Like some crazy Josh Smith explosion from 3 might happen.
And he hit the game winner over Blake Griffin in the corner or something. And I just sit there like, yeah, I expected it. I should have known.
A Dwight Howard skyhook, something like that.
Can we agree? Like, if those coaches went to the Haka strategy, that would be the most unwatchable playoff series of all time, right? Just Dwight and DJ parading to the line for the entire time for like 7 games.
I don't think we
might
have players for that.
We might die.
Adam Silver needs to jump in front of this right now for the even the slight possibility that could happen. All right, Harrison, what was your thoughts on what the Clippers did today?
All right, I got another pun for you guys. So, the fans that are disappointed in it can cry me a rivers. Like, they at least get to watch like a good team this year. Like, we're sitting here having to root for our team to actively root for our team to lose every single one of our last 29 games, and like just enjoy the success. Like, just like have fun with it. Like,
everyone should feel bad for us. You know, we haven't won forever.
Pity us.
All right.
That's my problem with some of the Clipper fan base. Is like no one's happy. How the hell? Like 5 years ago, I didn't expect this team to be great. Like I'm just enjoying the ride. You know, I mean,
yeah, just be happy David Stern vetoed that trade, or like you guys would, you know, maybe still be.
Technically, that trade never made the league office desk.
Oh my gosh!
If you
this is gonna go way long if we don't argue about this.
No, because I'm going off of what Mike Dunleavy Sr. said like a couple of years ago. Is that I guess Stern never even saw the deal. Like it was already like kiboshed before, like long before he would ever came in like involved in it.
I'm sticking to the fact that David Stern and Dan Gilbert hate the Lakers. I don't care what facts I have in front of me. It doesn't matter. Dan Gilbert can suck a big one.
At least Stern's gone.
Yeah.
Stern did a lot for the NBA, but at least he's gone now. And Adam
he kind of fell off at the end a little bit.
I don't think he was really in tune with the times anymore.
Yeah.
How could he be? He was a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah.
All right. I guess my one word to describe the Clippers at this time of year is simply reunited, because I see a very likely scenario where a certain former Celtic who is about to be bought out is about.
Oh no!
Stop.
Hey, the Clippers starting 5 is undefeated with Kendrick Perkins in it.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
I'm so with Perkins right now. Like, I hate him. I don't like him. I think he's terrible. But there is like 2 good things he does, which are basically help the locker room and set crazy screens. Which, whatever.
Oh man, you're trying to talk yourself into it so hard.
No, I mean he's a great screener. I'm just sad that for him to actually set screens, he has to get minutes.
Can't just do it from the bench.
Like that's a requirement. He has to put it onto the floor. It's like
He just wants to come back and stay to Staples and get that money that Doc hid in the locker room.
Oh God, I remember that. I heard that like Cleveland and I can't remember who the other team was, like Miami or Chicago was like the front runner for him. So please go there.
Why are these teams racing to sign him? Well,
why is this so? Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Because he's a winner.
Oh, that cliche.
Yeah.
Where's Byron Scott to clap for that cliche?
No, I saw like on Inside the NBA, I saw somebody put out a quote on Twitter from Shaq that says that like that's not about the Haka, blank strategy. He said like that's not basketball, that's strategy. And if you get into basketball and play strategy, then you're soft. And I was like, there's no way that wasn't just a leftover Byron quote that somebody misattributed to Shaq.
I think that's what Byron started the job interview with. Like,
yeah.
Did they confuse Shaq with Charles Barkley, or
yeah?
Was that like
strategy is soft, guys. If you have to have strategy, you've already lost.
And I was so astounded that Barkley even acted like he knew who Enes Kanter was.
He just read. Barkley is going to be a fan of any move where they tell him 5 minutes before the studio, yeah, this guy's a post-up scorer.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here we're going on 2 podcasts in a row where I get to use my Charles Barkley impersonation, which is absolutely terrible. But man,
it's been terrible.
Let me tell you something, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder just traded for a man named Anus. That is terrible. All right, that is good. That is my 2 cents as Charles Barkley, which is slightly smarter than Charles Barkley's actual 2 cents.
God.
All right, so we'll go our last one here. I already hit on this, so I will remove myself from this conversation. The Lakers not doing anything today was blank. We'll start with Harrison.
Expected. I mean, like, honestly, it's cliche, but it's like we were talking about earlier. It takes 2 people to make a trade, and around the league, like, if you look at kind of what was being moved, like, you know, it's hard for Jordan Hill coming off of like a hip flexor injury and to like match that. And the teams that like wanted a big just went in different directions. And so maybe the Lakers were asking for too much. Maybe they were just sitting on like their assets. I read a report, I think it was from Medina, that was saying that Jordan Hill had just told people that he wasn't willing to waive his no trade that he has for this year. So teams would have had to pick up his second year. And so that's probably a turnoff. Ed Davis's salary wasn't really big enough to move on his own. It was kind of tough to find a fit there. Jeremy Lin's salary is impossible to move. So, like, Wayne Ellington is really the only one I just don't understand how they couldn't get, like, a second-round pick for. But, honestly, like, from a human perspective, I can understand not wanting to trade the guy. Like, if he's, like, getting used to, like, if he's comfortable in this locker room, like, you know, his dad just died in, like, such a horrible, tragic way earlier in the year. Like, I would, like, I personally, like, it's easy for me from the outside to say, yeah, trade that guy, but, like, if I personally was working there, it would be kind of hard to, like, say, you know, pack your bags, you're on your way to, you know, Toronto or whatever.
So wait. Now you're going to make me feel like the ultimate dick by saying trade the guy whose dad just died.
I didn't want to go there. Like, we're trying to keep it lighthearted, but, like, I wasn't expecting a whole lot from them today, to be honest.
Wow, I feel terrible now. All right, we'll go. Matt, why don't you go here? We'll go Justin next.
The Lakers not making any moves leads to more booze. Not only
for the fans and on the court.
Yeah, for the fans. You know, keep drinking for these last 29 games while watching Carlos Boozer also stay on the team. But on a serious note, yeah, I agree with Harrison. I wasn't also expecting anything towards like when we got to like the last week and a half, and nothing had been done yet. So I'm not really surprised.
All right. So what do we got, Justin, from the outsider's perspective?
Let's see. I'll just go with supposed because I like, and that goes in part with expected. I just supposed they weren't going to get anything. I mean, not in terms that they weren't going to get anything. I just didn't think there was much that they could pretty much offload that teams would get. Because Jordan Hill's contract, $9 million, you know, the no trade and all that stuff. You got to find a taker for him, and it's all this. There's a lot of moving parts with the Lakers. I think Ed Davis was the one guy they could have probably dealt, but I don't know. They're in a tough spot.
I think they want to keep Davis. I think that they were just really hesitant to trade him. They just seem like, from everything that you hear, I think they want to keep him past this season.
He has a player option, right?
Yeah. So he's going to opt out. Though, like, he'd be insane not to. But
yeah.
All right. I guess I said that I was going to remove myself from the conversation, but I just came up with a great pun. So like I can't let this opportunity pass me by. The Lakers not doing anything today made me want to Mitch Upchuck because it is awful how poorly they are planned, you know, because they just refuse to, you know, they keep overvaluing their assets. Look, I everything that you guys say makes absolute sense. It really does. But I use the analogy today of, you know, when you're playing Monopoly and there's that one dude who it's like, all right, I will trade you. Look, you have two pieces from one land here. I have two pieces from another land here. We happen to have the same third. I will trade you this and make up whatever difference between the two and try to make a deal work where you and I both benefit. And the guy goes, No, go F yourself. I want you to trade me this plus this, and then trade all that stuff too, and completely overvalues their stuff. And then by the end of the game, guess who loses first? Because everybody else at the table is sitting there saying, well, you know what? Go F yourself at the end of the day. Look at how few teams are saying to themselves, we're going to help the Lakers, right? It's because Mitch Kupchak is this supposedly great negotiator. And, all right, I'm going to stop again.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Since we didn't make any moves, it's Jim Buss's fault, no?
That's a good point.
That's only if it turns out bad that we didn't make any moves.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. We didn't make bad moves, too.
Was it odd to anybody that Andre Miller got traded to George Karl's team today?
Not really.
I would. Can we all be flies on the wall for the first time they see each other? Because that would be great.
I just found it so weird because when you look at the pace in Washington with him on the court and him off, it was so ridiculous. Like on the court, it was like 97.5 possessions. With him off, it was like 90. It's like, come on, he's not going to play no fast-paced tempo under George Karl. Let's get out of here.
I think George Karl really liked coaching him, though. But yeah, it cracks me up. The Kings, they have no idea what they want. They say that they want to play 4-on-5 and go crazy and throw up an insane amount of possessions a game, and they sign a 37-year-old senior citizen, a guy that's had an old man game since he was 16. What?
Oh, Andre Miller, he holds a special place in my heart where I Hitler resides.
You guys all just
because I hate him so much.
Oh my God!
I hate him so much.
This podcast is going to a dark place.
I don't think you understand how much Clipper fans hate Andre Miller.
Oh, I guess not.
Worst. He's the worst.
Anthony, I was going to say my guess for what your pun was going to be was that the trade deadline was a Mitch Kupchak for you. He really just he gave you a cup check.
Oh yeah, I wasn't wearing a cup today too. It was just a straight Mitch kick to the balls. All right. So the last little game we're gonna play here today. We meant to play it yesterday. I teased it because I'm great in this industry. I'm not. I'm really. We're gonna play this game where we're gonna highlight for our respective teams. So Justin, you can do the same thing with your Clippers. With our respective teams, we're gonna talk about how the trade deadline could have gone, best and worst case scenario, and then we're gonna kind of see how far this can go. And I'm not exaggerating. We're gonna find best and worst case scenarios. So move by move. How about we do this? Move by move. Harrison, then Matt, then Justin, and then I'll add a move to it. Worst case scenarios for our team. Go ahead. What would have been the number one worst move the Lakers could have made today, Harrison?
Out of the moves that were being reported, I would definitely say, well, the worst decision they could have made would be giving up their top 5 protection for Dragic. Phoenix asked for, or was reported that Phoenix asked for. If they had made that trade, the amount of words that would have been spilled from all the bloggers and writers about how right Magic Johnson was about the Lakers front office not knowing what they were doing, it would have been insane. Thousands upon millions of words.
Magic would have applauded the move though. So
they're playing exciting basketball under Byron Scott with the Dragic brothers.
Right. All right, Matt. What would have been the second worst move that could have been made today?
I think the move that would have pissed me off the most would be if we did Julius Randle for Kendrick Perkins and Scott Brooks has to come co-head coach with Byron Scott. I think that one.
Perfect. That would be awful. Awesome.
If you make it a 3-team trade, you could get Brian Shaw.
That's
They could just alternate quarters.
Perfect. That was great.
That's Monty Williams. You can get Monty in there too.
Bring him on.
All All right.
Well, Jacques Vaughn's free. Don't even have to trade anything for him. Just sign him up.
It's on the waiver wire. Justin, what would have been the worst move your Clippers could have made today?
Trade our big three for any high-paid three players from Brooklyn.
Oh, bad.
That would have been terrible. I would have cried.
All right, I guess my the worst thing the Lakers could have done here would have been extending Byron for the next 50 years and bringing back Kobe as co-coach to manage all the shots and directions that the possessions go in, while also turning Robert Sacre into more Robert Sacres. That would have been really bad. All right, so we'll go more positive. That took a negative turn. Unless you guys can think of any worse ones. Harrison, you want another go?
Sign Doc Rivers' other kid that sits around on Twitter like trashing, the Pelicans' moves or whatever.
Oh, he trashed Chris Paul today too.
No,
Oh,
he didn't.
did he? I'm not gonna follow some random dude, like, I swear, but like I looked at his I saw his Twitter account when the whole like Austin like drama was going down with the Pelicans, and he was like, "Oh, my brother won't even play him, or whatever, just trade him." Like, I was like, how does this guy have this many followers? Like, you people like are just star fuckers. So like, you'll follow anybody with like any name recognition. It's insane.
Yeah, he posted a tweet that was like, "Oh, Paul just doesn't handle pressure well." I'm like, really? Like, what? Like, it's like, come on, man.
What?
Yeah, it was just unbelievable.
What's his name again?
Jeremiah. That's how you know he's terrible.
Yeah, you guys should have a recurring segment like Jeremiah Rivers tweet of the night.
Like Ernie Johnson's Nito stat of the night.
Yeah, exactly, but like the opposite.
Jeremiah's tweet of the night. It even works. Look at that. All right, so we'll look at the other side of the coin. How could have this trade deadline gone for the Lakers? Matt, we'll let you go for this time.
I would say trading Jeremy Lin and Jordan Hill to any team and getting back their base salaries and then using that for free Girl Scout cookies for all the fans for the rest of the year. I would love that.
Matt is good at this game. All right. Justin, what could have been the best move the Clippers could have made today?
A 3-team deal with New Orleans and Minnesota. Spencer Hawes for Anthony Davis, and Matt Barnes and whichever scrub off the bench for Andrew Wiggins.
I like how you have to try to make the salaries work.
Yeah, you gotta make a match. You gotta make a match.
He's been sitting there on the trade machine all day.
It's in the other tab right now. I really think Anthony Davis's 32 player efficiency rating could be great off the bench.
You have to try to find a way to weasel him in behind Glenn Davis somehow.
I mean, we can just put Blake as the stretch 3 sometimes when Wiggins just needs a blow. You gotta work it all out.
Or you could just play an all alien lineup with just Wiggins, Davis, DeAndre, and Blake.
It would have been better if I actually also traded for Giannis, but I didn't have enough time to plug it in.
I tried doing my trade on trade machine, but it wouldn't work out.
Hold on,
Couldn't find the Girl Scout cookies button.
Wasn't an option.
I think I could trade Austin Rivers for Giannis. Oh, yep, that actually works.
There you go. No, I mean that Girl Scout cookies is a little known exception that kicks in anytime you trade Jeremy Lin.
Exactly. There you go.
It's the trade kicker. It's the trade kicker of the deal.
Yeah. All right, Harrison. What would have been the one move you would have made beyond the Girl Scout cookies that would have made the Lakers incredible again?
Yeah, man. I don't know if I can top that. Trade. Let's see. Trade Robert Sacre to Phoenix for the full rights back to our pick, and You know what? This is just. I'm gonna go realistic for the. Just buy out Boozer. Like I would be so happy if we just did that. Like I don't need to make up some like fake scenario where Girl Scout cookies rain down from the sky. Like I would make that. I would go buy Girl Scout cookies for all the Lakers fans.
I'm keeping you to that.
Yeah, we're keeping you to that. We're totally getting bought out tomorrow.
I'm gonna go buy. I'll go buy like $200 worth of Girl Scout cookies and just hand them out in front of Staples Center.
That's like 4 boxes.
All right, I guess my move would have been to trade Jeremy Lin to whomever needs to be taken. We'll give him to the front office. We'll give him to the actual league to make sure bloggers make a decent wage from now on for here on out.
He should be Charles Barkley's personal analytics assistant.
There you go. There you go. We can call it analytics. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man.
All right, guys. So I like to wrap these up with a random little tidbit here at the end. Last podcast we did top 5 or starting 5 fast food restaurants. Previously, we did a starting 5 fruit lineup. So tonight, we are going to go with, drumroll please, we are going to go with a top 5 actors who would lead a starting 5, like legitimate actors who you would, or roles they played in, to be your point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center.
And Ray Allen has to be off limits.
Ray Allen. Jesus Shuttlesworth cannot make an appearance.
Yeah, what about Space Jam Michael Jordan?
Again, not included. Actor. We are thinking actor.
Are we tanking? Because then I'd say Kevin Hart, but...
Oh, you just pissed off a whole bunch of Hart fans.
Are there any?
There's got to be some, right? People aren't just like accidentally stumbling into his movies.
Jeez.
All right, so our table setter, our table setter for actors, I'm going to go ahead and say Billy Crystal, because he seems to set up punchlines better than I think anybody I can think of in the history of movies. We'll go. Justin, you're in charge of the guy who knocks down said punchlines.
Let's see. Knocks down said punchlines. For some reason, I have Mark Wahlberg in my head, like when the first thing was actors, just because I just feel like he'd fit.
Yeah.
Like he'd be the tough guy, like like he'd just be the guy no one wants to mess with. I mean, he'd punch people out in a movie. Come on.
There you go. So he's our bruiser. He's our Kendrick Perkins there, right? He's our center.
And actually, if you count him in Shooter, he was a knockdown shooter, so either one.
He was framed. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, he was. If you haven't seen Shooter, we're sorry, but.
All right, Matt. Who are you having as our athletic wing player, our small forward?
I don't know if he would fall into this, but I would want to put Christian Bale on this team.
Okay.
I don't know how our team chemistry would go, but I think he'd be a good fit on the starting 5.
Are we getting Batman bulked Christian Bale, or are we getting the Machinist?
Either.
Oh, okay.
I'd be more worried about getting the American Psycho. Like that would really mess with the chemistry if they got.
He's already coaching the Jazz. So.
When I wrote my at the All-Star break thing, I described Quinn Snyder as a 1920s mobster looking to evade prohibition. Like if he had a striped suit on and a hat, dead ringer.
That guy is terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't you see him during slow parts of the game? Like he puts his lapel up here like this and swings out of a handle, just puts it back in.
Cantor was just making insane demands just to get out of there. Like,
I'm afraid my coach might kill me. All right, Harrison, you're up next. We have our shooter, we have our point guard, we have ironically our shooter and bruiser are the same guy. And we have an American Psycho. So who we have 2 more positions to fill.
All right, so every team needs a guy that can come in and like do stuff in like limited opportunities, and occasionally like break out and steal the show, right? So I'm gonna actually go with Michael Mando from he's in Better Call Saul now, playing Nacho. He was the villain in the video game Far Cry 3, and he's been in like a couple other show, and just like everything I've seen him in, he just like steals every single scene and like comes in and does like a ton in like a limited amount of screen time. And so put way too much thought into this, but every team needs somebody like that.
Seeing as I have no idea who it is, and the guy who actually steals every scene he's in, Steve Buscemi, like in all those Adam Sandler movies, was killing it. Like he's our sixth man off the bench.
I know who you're talking about, Harrison. I'm watching.
Or Common. We could get Common. I mean, he did a basketball movie.
There you go.
Right there. Our center could be Daniel Day-Lewis. He kills it in whatever role he's in.
Yeah,
and he's tall.
Yeah.
And then in our overpaid past his prime veteran who continues to play even though nobody cares to see anything he's in has to be Kevin Costner.
I thought you were going to say Adam Sandler.
That's where I thought he was going with that.
That will work. Well, I already mentioned Adam Sandler, so I was trying to show some variety. But yeah, Kevin Costner, like that Draft Day movie was terrible, and now this Mexican marathon movie that he's making looks terrible. So,
God, Mel Gibson would fit that role too.
we could just go for
for a while.
Just sit here do an hour podcast where we just trash actors for their salaries.
All right, guys. So we somehow managed to make all Kevin Hart fans hate us. We found a best and worst case scenario. We found terrible puns for how the trade deadline went, and didn't fight each other over the David Stern fiasco with Chris Paul. So I would say that was a successful podcast.
Good stuff.
I'd like to thank Justin. You came through in the clutch today when Matt and I were sitting here and we're thinking this is nowhere near enough personality for this thing. So thanks for heeding the call.
No problem. I'm a little bit stunned you actually said I had personality, but I'll take it. There's been worse things said about me, so I'll take that one.
I also appreciate you put on a shirt. Like that was a good
that was a big deal for me. I had the Italian dinner jacket on, which is just the tank top undershirt. So I mean, I had to get formal for this one.
Also, Harrison joined us late, right before the deadline ended. So thanks, Harrison, for coming out. Get back to your homework, youngin.
Yeah.
And then and Matt, you were down for the call from the start of the thing. So thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you guys all enjoy this. Also, randomly, we somehow have almost 2,000 views of our last podcast. So thank you everybody for watching and thanks everybody for that.
Yeah, seriously.
That we've somehow gotten so far. You guys are the best. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
All right.